Hey there, fishing buddies. As you've seen from some of my past fishing videos, you see that I do go offshore quite a bit, 20 to 30 miles, sometimes as many as 40. But I don't really have ways to communicate effectively outside of a 5-mile or 10-mile range, whatever that handheld does. And I don't really have a spot on my boat to put a fixed radio that might get me a little bit farther. But even that, the distance that I go, I'm usually even out of radio range unless I'm just radioing to another boat. So to help this is I couldn't afford or want a satellite phone, but I did send out for a Garmin Inreach SE. This doesn't have the mapping, but I do have charts and navigation. I have my Lowrance GPS chart plotter, so I didn't really have the need for the maps. And this one can do everything else as far as communication and SMS text messaging through satellites. And it's supposed to be good anywhere in the world. So technically now, if I'm out of cell phone range, then I should still be able to communicate, and has an SOS button. So it came in a box today, and I did buy this one. I felt I got a pretty good deal on it. I got it for $329 from West Marine, so they must be coming with a new model or something. Most of the other things I've seen, like the minis and other things, were quite a bit more. And this does a lot of the same things that the other competitors do have. But what I did like about this one is it's a standalone product, and I can actually see what I'm texting as opposed to having to use my phone, because if my phone got wet or I didn't have my phone on me, say I went in the water or something, this will still work as a standalone device. And that's why I chose to go with this one. And so the box came in today, and pretty much it has the chargers and all the stuff to go with it. I will try it offshore next time I go offshore. I imagine I have to charge it up, but also what's very important is it is not activated. So you must activate the device, which is pretty much like a cell phone plan. So I did charge it. It did take about an hour to fully charge it. It came around 66% charged, so another hour got it fully charged. And supposedly if I have it turned off, the battery's supposed to be good for multiple years. So even though I just charge it once and then just put it in a bag and forget about it until I need it, then the battery should be good. But I'd probably say check your battery every time you're going to go out, just in case it was turned on by accident or something. So what I'm doing here now is I'm on the Garmin website, and I'm going to activate it and pick a plan. And it says I have to put in some number, an authorization code that I will find if I power on the device. So to power it on, you have a button on the top. Press it down. It's turning on. I'm going to have to go through some things on the screen that's probably going to ask me. They're all going to be pretty self-explanatory. If there's anything that I feel that you need to know that you can't figure out by yourself, then I'll start recording again. But I'm going to be looking for an IMEI number, which it tells you how to find it. Okay, so once I go through all my personal information, such as my name, address, and stuff like that, and I put in the code that's on my Inreach, that it pretty much pairs me with a unique device, well, then I pick my service plan. It says the contract plans or freedom plans. Contract plans are things that you do a 12-month contract. Freedom is just do month to month. You can cancel at any time, but they're more money. And then from there you can choose whether you want a safety plan, a recreation plan, or an expedition plan, and then it'll tell you what's included for each particular plan. Again, I'm just kind of using this as a last resort, not as a normal communication device. Obviously, if somebody was traveling around the world all the time, they'd probably want an expedition plan that has unlimited of everything. They could just communicate to people left and right. People that, once a month or so go bivouacking or something like that in the woods. But for me, like I said, most of the time it's just to text someone. It says unlimited preset messages, so I can just always send someone, checking in, day okay type of a thing or whatever, and not cost anything for that. But if I have to text anything to anybody, either incoming or outgoing, I get a few free ones per month. But worst case scenario, if I go over it because I need to, then I'm not going to worry about a couple of dollars if I go over. So once everything is done on my computer side, I had to come outside to get a clear view of the sky. You can see that kind of arrow up the top there. If you don't have a satellite signal, there'll be a question mark. You can also see at the top of the screen there, it's got two blinking arrows, one up, one down. That's just telling it it's sending and receiving information. And then it gives you a congratulations, you've completed your device activation, and then you can select finish. Back at the computer, and everything is done activating, and they sent me an email kind of talking about that the activation's done and certain things you can do to make things better. So if you want to learn how to communicate, and that you should always test before you go, and to also how to pair it with a mobile device. So one of the other things you want to do is you want to take your phone and you want to download the EarthMate app, and then you're going to use Bluetooth to pair the two together, and that way it's going to have your bigger phone screen. Now I know I said one of the reasons why I picked this product is because it's standalone, and yes, it is standalone, but you can use it with the phone, and that'll give you a bigger screen, maybe easier to read, maybe easier to type with. But why it's important, I think, to standalone is because the battery in the phone might die. So now that I've downloaded the EarthMate app, I am back on my computer at the exploregarmin.com, and the reason why I'm on this site is something that's kind of important. When I was showing you the plans, one of the things it said was preset messages unlimited. I mean, I can send as many preset messages. So what we can do is we can come up here to this tab on the Garmin website, the Inreach Explorer website, and we can click on messages. So when I click on that, it can pop up preset messages and also quick text messages. Now why these are important is you can send as many preset messages as you want, unlimited, without any charge. So what you can do is you can hit the edit button on the side here, and you can have those preset messages say whatever you want them to say. So for example, you could have it say something like, just checking in, everything is okay, and you can put in the contacts of people who you'd want to say. So for example, in my case, it's my spouse and my daughter and my son. I can put in message number 2, and what I put in was delayed, but everything is okay. And the other one is heading back in, fish for dinner. So now I have 3 messages that I can just send every single time I'm out there, just pretty much, hey, just checking in, everything's okay, whatever. And these are free. But then I also have quick text messages I can do. Now, the quick text messages, why that's important, you can have it instead of trying to dig around and try to find things. So for example, if I need to call for a tow, so I can have this in, for example, it says like, having an emergency, I'm signaling for an SOS, will contact you when I can. Having boat trouble, I am waiting for tow. If the tow captain gives you a number that I can text him, please pass it on to me. So I kind of edited some things there that I can send if I pick up the thing and go to put in a new message. So you can make these quick text, anything you want, you can add. And let's just say you put in like order a pizza for dinner tonight. Put something like that in, and you hit save. And then it'll pop up saying a sync is required. So it's not going to update on quick messages on the unit yet. I have to sync it. And the way you sync it is pretty much just throw in your Bluetooth, open up the EarthMate app while having the Inreach on, and then they'll sync, and then you'll have these quick messages already synced to your phone or your Inreach device, and I'll show you how that works. So if I'm powering it up, again, just touch the top button, and the phone starts to come on, or the Inreach starts to come on. Now if I just want to send one of those preset messages, up the top there it says preset. So I could just use the toggle switch to go up once over there and then hit the check button. Pretty much that's my enter. The thing is those presets, you can send an unlimited amount. They are free. The only thing that's not free, and you got to tell the people, is if they respond to it, then it's going to count as a text. So if you have 10 free texts a month, you got to imagine if I sent it out to my 3 kids and they all responded, just saying like, hey, everything's okay, and they just kind of gave me a thumbs up, well, that counts as 3 of my texts for the month. So you want to tell the people like, hey, just I'll send you these updates so you don't have to respond to them. So what I would do here is I'd hit new message, and I could come over to the side and you can kind of see that preset thing here. Select that, and I can text down to this message, and it says, having boating trouble, I'm waiting for tow. So instead of trying to type that out on a small screen, if I don't have my glasses and anything, I have it already kind of know that spell checked or whatever. Now I'm going to discard this because I'm not going to send it, so I'm just going to hit the X button, which is a back thing, or discard, and I'll say discard your message, and I'll say yes, I'm going to discard it. Check. So that's one of the important things that I would do before taking this out, is I would get my program messages already in there. So one of them I have in there is having boat trouble, I need you to call Boat US for a tow. My membership number is X, and I am attaching my location with the message. And there is a way you can attach your location to your messages. So again, if you hit new message, you come down to the message section, and then you scroll over to the bottom thing that kind of looks like a miniature X or whatever. If you click on that, it's going to populate your latitude and longitude into the message, and then you can send that along with any other message. So if you want to send a quick message, you can just attach your latitude and longitude with that as well. So those are things that I find really helpful. If you just wanted to text somebody like something that's not already a quick message, so if you want to send just a regular text message, you just go up to your contacts, click on who you want the contact to, and then just go into the message section, and you pretty much hit the check button, and you can just start choosing these things to write a text message. Back on the home screen here, I am playing tug of war with the dog, so if you hear some growling in the background, that's what it is. But back on the home screen, after I put in my preset and quick messages, I also want to add contacts. So if you scroll over and click on contacts, it's going to bring you to a page where you can add contacts, and you want to add people that aren't necessarily going to be on the boat with you as well. So parents or friends or whatever. If you just put your fishing buddies that are probably going to be sitting next to you at the time when you need to contact somebody, it's not going to be very helpful. So when you add those contacts, again, you have to sync it to your device, so into your Inreach or whatever, in order for the contacts to make it from your computer there. So you can do it either by Bluetooth on your EarthMate app, because whatever you type on this computer automatically goes on your EarthMate mobile app, as long as you have the Wi-Fi connection to them. Or you can just plug in your device to the USB port in your computer on this site or whatever and sync. So you need to sync them in order to get the new messages that you put on the computer or your new contacts. I have a VHF handheld radio. It's a Garmin, and it has the SOS GPS locator on it. So in case of emergencies, I always kind of felt like, well, I'm somewhat covered because, I can talk to other boats or whatever, line of sight type radio. And in case of a bad situation, I need to Coast Guard to come out. But sometimes, I just want to be able to call, Boat US or whatever and just get a tow, or just communicate with my family and be like, hey, I'm going to be late, something, don't expect me by dark. Fishing is great. So I do have my phone, and the phone, maybe 5 miles offshore, and I go, well more than that. And then I also have the Boat US app. So as long as I have, again, cell service or whatever, I can hail a tow. So this Inreach just gives me one more thing, a little bit of peace of mind. Hopefully, I'll never have to use it in case of emergency, but I do think I'm going to use this. as far as those preset messages, I could see using it every time I go out. I could see using a test every time I go out. I could see situations where I do those quick messages, or I just send a text message saying like, hey, we're having a fantastic day, or I'm changing my position. Because a lot of times I will tell people my float plan, and I'll go out, and if there's no fish there, I go looking somewhere else. And so if something was to happen to me, this is something I can constantly give updates to my location. So if I move and I'm not where I said I was going to be, and that's something I actually do quite often, because I'll start heading out somewhere and be like, wow, it's a lot calmer out here than I thought. I'm going to push it. I'm going to go 40 miles instead of 25. Or there's really not much happening in one section, so I say, I'm going to go south to some numbers I have that are 15 miles away. Well, if I just don't show up at home, and I've heard some horror stories, really close horror stories to, where we live, as far as people going out and not coming back. For me to have that peace of mind to know that I can contact someone, have a conversation with them, back and forth, that just gives me a big peace of mind. I know it gives my wife a lot of peace of mind. And if something was ever to happen, it's going to be money well spent, and it's going to seem foolish if I didn't spend it. So if you like this video, you want to see more of them, please hit the like button, subscribe, and happy boating.